Britain has just experienced a diplomatic rupture unlike anything in modern history. Only minutes ago, Donald Trump stood at a White House podium and did what no American president had ever done before. He declared the United Kingdom an unreliable ally and effectively named it an adversary of the United States. He threatened economic retaliation if London failed to fall in line. The so-called special relationship, an 80-year cornerstone of Western diplomacy, now lies in ruins, and this time it may be beyond repair. What happens in the next 72 hours could determine whether Britain retains any real standing as a global power. The center of this crisis is Trump's extraordinary statement, a deliberate, carefully choreographed act that blindsided Westminster and sent shockwaves through global markets. Standing before a wall of American flags in Washington, Trump fixed his gaze on the cameras and referred to Prime Minister Keir Starmer not as Britain's elected leader but as a man who had betrayed the United States of America. He accused Starmer's government of interfering in the 2024 U.S. election, of insulting the American people, and of crossing a line that could never be uncrossed. Then came the warning: Britain, he said, would face serious consequences for its disloyalty. According to senior White House officials, this was no off-the-cuff outburst. Trump's communications team had spent days preparing the announcement. Press statements were drafted in advance, talking points were circulated to American media outlets, and even foreign allies were quietly briefed. This was a calculated political strike, a deliberate dismantling of Britain's privileged status in Washington, timed for maximum visibility. The fallout was immediate. Within minutes of Trump leaving the podium, Foreign Secretary David Lammy was filmed rushing into Number 10, flanked by aides and security staff. Emergency cabinet meetings were called. The pound dropped against the dollar. Trading floors in London turned frantic. And on social media, the political aftershocks began. Nigel Farage was the first to react. Within half a minute of the speech's conclusion, he posted on X that Trump was absolutely right and that Starmer had humiliated Britain and destroyed its most important alliance. The post went viral, receiving over 100,000 shares in less than an hour. Then Elon Musk joined in. With more than 200 million followers, his endorsement turned the statement into a global narrative. Musk accused the Labour government of being anti-American, anti-freedom, and a threat to Western values. Within hours, an online storm had become a full-blown political earthquake. What many failed to see amid the noise was the financial logic behind the panic. Markets do not react to rhetoric, they react to power. The moment Trump signaled that Britain was no longer loyal, investors knew what would come next. The pound fell 0.5% within minutes. The London Stock Exchange saw emergency sell orders, particularly in defense and automotive sectors. The reason was clear: Trump had hinted at punitive tariffs. "We are reviewing all trade agreements with countries that don't respect the United States," he declared. Some governments and some leaders are about to find out what that means. Everyone knew who he meant. Analysts began pricing in potential 25% tariffs on British steel, cars, and manufactured goods. That was not speculation but a financial reality being rapidly built into the system. Billions of pounds in potential losses were being calculated before the sun had even set. Inside Downing Street, chaos reigned. According to leaks from Number 10, the cabinet had fractured into warring factions. Some ministers urged the Prime Minister to issue a formal apology and reach out personally to Trump to calm tensions. Others insisted that any gesture of contrition would only embolden Washington, proof, they argued, of Britain's weakness. One senior advisor, speaking off the record, warned bluntly that if Trump followed through with sanctions, Britain could face economic isolation. The Prime Minister's position, they said, could become untenable, and therein lies the crux of the crisis. Starmer has no good options. If he apologizes, he risks appearing weak, and Britain risks appearing subservient. If he retaliates, Trump will escalate. If he does nothing, the crisis festers by the hour. It is, as one diplomat put it, a perfect trap, and Trump said it deliberately. Meanwhile, the British press has turned ferocious. Headlines are brutal. Trump declares Britain disloyal, special relationship in ruins, Starmer loses America. Every hour without a clear response from Downing Street amplifies the sense of drift and impotence. No US president has ever humiliated a British prime minister so publicly or so deliberately, not during the Suez Crisis when Eisenhower forced Britain's withdrawal, not during the Iraq War when Bush and Blair divided the world, not even during Trump's own first term when he clashed repeatedly with Theresa May. This moment is unprecedented, and make no mistake, it is strategic. Trump is not merely reacting to an insult, he is redefining American foreign policy around one brutal transactional principle: personal loyalty. Those who show it will be rewarded with access, trade, and protection. Those who do not will be punished. In Trump's eyes, Keir Starmer and his government failed that loyalty test the moment labor officials were accused of meddling in the 2024 US election. Whether the allegations have substance or not no longer matters, because in Trump's world, perception is reality. The United States has declared Britain unreliable, and the markets are already reacting as though that judgment were final. Inside Westminster, the political establishment is scrambling to understand what this means for the government, the economy, and Britain's standing in the world. Donald Trump's assault on Britain did not end with his condemnation of Prime Minister Keir Starmer. In fact, that was only the beginning. What followed was even more deliberate and far more dangerous. During the same press conference, Trump went out of his way to praise Nigel Farage, describing him as a man who understands what real leadership looks like and a true friend of the American people. The implications were unmistakable. The President of the United States had just publicly endorsed the leader of Britain's opposition movement while attacking its elected Prime Minister. This was not diplomacy, it was political interference bordering on regime signaling. Farage, ever the opportunist, wasted no time in capitalizing on the moment. Within hours, he launched a relentless media campaign across both British and American networks, presenting himself as the natural bridge between the two nations. His message was pointed and simple: Starmer broke the alliance, and only new leadership can repair it. Trump reinforced that message personally, reposting clips of Farage's interviews with captions such as "a real friend of America." The symbolism was stark. In Trump's emerging vision of transatlantic politics, Farage now personifies Britain, while Starmer has been cast aside. The effect was immediate. Reform UK, long dismissed as a protest movement, began rising in the polls. Analysts who once scoffed at the idea of Farage as a potential prime minister are now treating it as a genuine possibility.